This is a Film Stories original podcast.
Mother's Day is almost here, and you can get her the most beautiful time-tested gift around. A watch she can wear every day from Movement. Whether mom's into classic dress watches, rare and refined ceramics, or tried and true bestsellers, Movement has something she'll love. And right now you can save big on the best Mother's Day gift ever with up to 50% off site-wide during Movement's Mother's Day sale at mvmt.com. Again, that's up to 50% off at mvmt.com.
We made this.
Welcome back, everybody, to the X-Cast. The truth is in here. I'm your host for this episode, Carl Sweeney, and thanks for joining us, and welcome back to I Want to Believe Minute, which is the series we're doing at the moment where we go through the second X-Files feature film 1 minute at a time. So we did this for Fight the Future a few years ago, and it was a lot of fun, so we thought, why not reprise this format for I Want to Believe? And today we're looking at minute 14 of the film, which begins at the 13-minute mark as Scully and Dakota Whitney are talking, and it goes through to 13 minutes and 59 seconds as Whitney tells Mulder she needs to know they're not wasting time. And Clara Cook is back with me on this episode, as she has been for the last few days. Hello, Clara.
Hello, Carl. I'm back again.
Back again. And this, like I said in the previous episode, this scene we're talking about here kind of runs through like 2 or 3 minutes, I think, doesn't it? So hopefully an interesting one for us to get into. And before we get going properly on this one, quick reminder that you can follow us on social media. And if you're enjoying the show, please do drop us a quick rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Even just a one-line review is great, and a quick rating, please. And on social media, we're on X at the X_cast. We are on Facebook, and we have a page and a discussion group on Facebook that you can join for more X-Files chat. And we're also over on Instagram. And don't forget that you can subscribe to our Patreon as well, patreon.com/xcast for early releases of episodes, you know, lots of different bonus content we've put out over the years, and more. Okay, Clara, so this minute then, this is the minute, I think, where they start talking about Father Joe. I think Exhibit's character starts talking about him, and Whitney says they sent for Mulder because of the kind of the psychic element of the case, and they need to get clarity on that. They need to know we're not wasting time. There's also some grisly stuff. They talk about finding the severed arm, which we saw earlier. We saw a man's arm being found in the snow, and there's some discussion about how a psychic led them there, seemingly. So, what did you think about this minute, Clara? Did anything strike you about this particular 60 seconds of film?
So I think it shows that Mulder's experience and intelligence and his profiling ability. So immediately he understands that the arm was linked to the crime scene through, either a weapon or through blood or tissue analysis or something. He immediately starts profiling or talking about Father Joe as if, he can understand some of it already. I think it's in this minute where the camera shot from like below the file that he's holding up into his face, and I thought that was really effective. I like that. I like it when they have close-ups of the X-Files. I don't feel like they do that many close-ups of Mulder and Scully in the X-Files in general, so sometimes when you see it, it's quite a dramatic effect. And he's quick off the mark, like he's responding quickly to what they're saying. He has ideas already. It just goes to show that he's in his element already, and that he's kind of born to do this. He's really good. He sees things that other people don't see in a file of information, or in a situation, or a scenario, or a crime scene. And is it in this minute where he says something about doubting Father Joe, or is it the next minute?
I think that whole exchange kind of runs over the
All the
2
way
minutes,
through it,
because I think it
yeah.
goes to like a punchline, doesn't it? Where Mulder has
Yeah.
said something inappropriate and they start chuckling, and
'Cause
I think that part is in the next minute.
Okay. So, I mean, it's not like he's not skeptical. He doesn't believe that Father Joe is a psychic right away, but it just shows that right away he can. He's a fresh pair of eyes,
Yeah.
but not just any eyes, expert eyes. I almost feel like he knows more than everyone in the room, even though he's only just arrived. Do you know what I mean? Which is typical X-Files, like Mulder walking in and seeing everything from a completely different point of view, and actually probably kind of being right.
But I was just thinking as you were talking about that, you know, the idea of Mulder not really missing a beat, you know, he's right back on it. And I was thinking when you said that about the actors as well, because on rewatch especially, I really think David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson are very good in this film.
Yeah.
And slip back into their roles very effectively. In a way that I didn't always feel was the case in the Revival series.
Yeah.
Particularly with Gillian Anderson in the Revival, I always felt there was a slight disconnect there between the way she was playing Scully and the previous iterations of Scully, you know, where I don't feel that in I Want to Believe. With Duchovny, I think certainly he was better in a Revival, I felt. I think by season 11 especially, he was really good, but I don't know. What did you think?
I felt like Gillian Anderson's portrayal in the Revival was kind of like, I don't know if the word is like arch. Do you know what I mean? Like she seemed kind of like knowing, almost a little bit like she's winking at the audience, you know, like just kind of like she's observing everything from outside, like with us, rather than it being Scully, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I do think, though, that, you know, I do think that they are excellent in these roles. I mean, I think we all agree, but I feel like in this particular film, she's acting like Scully, almost in the same way that she acted like Scully from day one in the pilot. You know how sometimes it takes a while for actors to get into something, and sometimes their portrayals early on aren't particularly what they end up portraying later. I don't feel like that about David Duchovny or Gillian Anderson in the pilot of the entire franchise, entire TV series. I felt like they were bang on from day one, and then they're sort of bang on in this film. But you're right, in the Revival, not always. I think sometimes it's the storyline, sometimes it's the script, and sometimes it's just, I mean, it's been a long time since they were portrayed these characters, but also there's problems with how the world has moved on in terms of, do you know what I mean? Sometimes like this, like, I mean, now it's like, well, we, you know, at the time it was like, can we get the evidence for this? You know, is there any photographs that prove this? I mean, now we all have smartphones, so do you know what I mean? There's this logistical problems with trying to tell an X-Files story in 2020, whatever it was, 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017. What was it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's been that's the other thing I was thinking the other day, that actually quite a lot of time has passed already now since season 11. It was 2018, wasn't it, season 11, and 2016 for season 10. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, what would the X-Files look like in 2024? I mean, who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? We might find out, because obviously there have been rumours about a potential new series involving Ryan Coogler, but whether that would involve any of the old actors in any way, we don't know. And we'll have to wait to see if it actually does come to pass, of course. I wonder if, because in a way, 2008 is not that far away. When this film came out, it's not that far away from season 9, is it? So season 9 finished in 2002. 6 years. It's kind of an oddly placed film in a way, isn't it? Because it's probably not long enough had elapsed for a lot of nostalgia to kick in for the X-Files necessarily. Do you think? In the way that, I think when season 10 was rolling around, I think there was a lot of nostalgia by that point for the X-Files in the 1990s and that kind of thing. But 2008, maybe not quite. So do you think that might be part of the reason why this film struggled to find a wide audience in 2008, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think it's also the way that the season was left in the truth. The way it was left and how it was left, like almost on a kind of, they're on the run, who knows what's going to happen. And then this film comes out, like, what you like say, 6 years later or whatever, and it's like, this is it? This is what's happened? You mean they've just gone to live in a cabin or a house in the woods? Like, this is what you mean they're not running around the globe trying to save the world from alien domination? Whatever, you know, I mean, I do wonder, is it fan fan enthusiasm that's pushing this forward? Is it that they think they can get new viewers? Is it that people are watching the old series as they become available on streaming services and they're getting a new generation of fans that want more? Or is it like a marketing or commercial decision? Is it, who's pushing like for more X-Files is what I wanted to know. And who pushed for this film? Because I'm not sure it's being driven by the actors. I don't know if Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny have been pushing for more X-Files since the truth, to be honest. Whether it's something that they've done it, but whether or not it's something that they were like pushing for. Whereas sometimes you do find lead actors in series really pushing for another series, pushing for a revival of something. And the revival TV series are things that are big, and I think it very much is driven by I want to say our generation. A lot of it, it's appealing to maybe older millennials, maybe.
And I think there is kind of a cynical aspect to a lot of the revivals too, which is that I think a lot of the time they're very effective at generating revenue through the back catalogue in a way. In other words, people know there's a revival of such and such a show, and therefore they either go back to rewatch the original episodes of that show on whatever streaming platform they're on, or they watch it for the first time to get up to speed, And then I think someone like Chris Carter, I think, would have been very passionately invested in bringing the X-Files back creatively as well. So obviously it's not a completely cynical venture, but it's a kind of a mix, I think. So
before the revival, season 10, there was wasn't there like a whole year where they did a marketing campaign for I think it was like one episode a day. I want to say it was one episode.
It was something like the 201 days of the X-Files or something, wasn't it? It was like an episode a day.
And the X-Cast did some episodes to do with that. I remember that as a community, especially now that we're all online more than we were when the X-Files was first on, we watched it, and I remember watching it and talking about it. I remember watching it with friends. I remember watching it and messaging people. I remember podcasting for the X-Cast, and I remember they produced these very beautiful sort of images for their social media with Mulder and Scully or different scenes from that particular episode. And I remember that was a joy. It was a joy to rewatch, but enough time had passed from rewatching the original series to doing the massive rewatch for the revival that I'd forgotten quite a few of the episodes. So there has to be enough time, doesn't there, in order for the revival to actually mean something, like in terms of nostalgia and appeal to you emotionally. If the revival is like 2 years after something is finished, or 3 years, it just doesn't. Do you know what I mean? It has to be enough time for it to feel exciting. Like, it's a revival. It's not a revival if it's like a few years later.
There needs to be a bit of a historical distance, I think, doesn't it, for that excitement to build and all that kind of thing. Yeah, I think so. On this particular minute, it's worth noting there apparently is an actual FBI agent in the scene. One of the men who sat at the table, and Chris Carter just said it on the commentary. It's nice to have a real FBI agent there. Adds a bit of authenticity. And
was he like, "This is not what my job is like"? Sadly.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should get him on the podcast.
It's not as fun, is it?
Yeah. He also singled out Amanda Peet for praise, did Chris Carter. He said it's actually quite a weighty scene for her because this is a scene that needs to set everything in motion, and she has these big blocks of dialogue to read that kind of need to be delivered in quite a staccato fashion, in an authoritative manner, and he felt she did very well there. So I thought we could talk about Amanda Peet. I mean, do you recognise her from much else, Clara? Because at one point she was in some fairly high-profile films and things, wasn't she? But what else have you seen her in?
Yeah, I think. I mean, wasn't she in some sort of romantic comedy that I might have seen?
Oh, Something's Gotta Give, maybe? The one with Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton?
I think I've seen her in that, yeah.
So I feel like maybe 2003, 2004, it seemed like she was popping up in quite a few high-profile films. So I wonder if by 2008, maybe that moment had passed in a way. But I think she's still, cinema goers turning up in 2008 might have recognised her from other things.
She's not somebody I would associate with the X-Files, so I think it was a surprise that she was cast in this film. I mean, same with Exhibit. I mean, he's not someone that you associate with the X-Files. So,
do you mean in the sense that because some of the casting does really feel like they've cast people who either have been in the series before in small roles or people who fit that kind of early seasons vibe quite well. Fairly unrecognizable performers, but who are very, very capable and confident and fit in the milieu very well. Is that kind of what you mean? Whereas she feels a bit like a different type of casting.
Yeah, a lot of actors in X-Files are actually not actors that are hugely well known or hugely recognizable. I'm not saying they're not like successful as actors, but they're not, massively famous necessarily. And a lot of actors at the X-Files who are routinely in the X-Files were like character actors. Do you know what I mean? You'd see them in other TV series of a similar, other supernatural TV series or other TV series like law enforcement TV series or something. So there are some bigger actors in this particular film. And for some reason, I think Amanda Peet is very recognizable, more so than even Callum. What's his name again? Callum Reese? No.
Callum Keith Rennie. Is it?
Callum Keith Rennie, yeah. Who I have seen in a lot of stuff, who I recognize because I used to watch Due South and Battlestar Galactica. I think he was in Battlestar Galactica after this. But I feel like Amanda Peet, she looks like a Hollywood actress. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She doesn't look like an FBI agent. That's not her fault. She's not her fault. She can't control the way she looks. But
yeah.
I don't know. Is it an achievement to deliver that much dialogue? Isn't that what actors are trained to do?
That's literally her job. Yeah.
I might being a bit mean. But...
Yeah, maybe. But I'm looking at a website called facts.net, which has got an article, 38 facts about Amanda Peet. And this is one of the worst articles I've ever seen, I think. One of the facts about her, hang on, right. So one of the facts is Amanda Peet is known for her natural beauty. She has embraced her age and has been vocal about not resorting to excessive cosmetic procedures.
Good for her.
Well, I mean, fair enough, but it's not a great article.
I mean, she is very beautiful. I mean, that's maybe part of the issue. I don't know.
No, this is. Hang on, let me just read this to you.
Beautiful women can be FBI agents.
Yeah, absolutely. Another fact on this article: she has a passion for fitness. Amanda Peet incorporates exercise into her daily routine to maintain a healthy lifestyle. I mean,
that's not
lots
a passion.
of people do that. Lots of people exercise.
I don't have a passion for fitness, and I try and maintain some level of physical exercise into my daily life.
She values family time. Amanda Peet has expressed the importance of spending time with her loved ones.
I should hope so.
Peet admires other talented actresses. She has spoken highly of actresses such as Meryl Streep and Cate Blanchett.
So Amanda Peet is basically a human being. That's what this article says.
I mean, the last one, though, she continues to be actively involved in the entertainment industry. I mean, I did recently watch something where she appeared, and I was like, okay, I haven't seen Amanda Peet for a few years, but she was in the, I don't know if you saw, there was a kind of a remake of Fatal Attraction that came out in the last year or so, where it's been done as a mini-series.
Oh, that's with Joshua Jackson and Lizzie Kaplan, I think?
Yeah. So Joshua Jackson in the Michael Douglas role from the film and Lizzie Kaplan in the Glenn Close role, and Amanda Peet was the male character's wife. So the character that Anne Archer played in the movie, I think. So she's still active. I think
sometimes this is an interesting thing. People think like an actor or an actress has gone away, but actually they could have been working the entire time just doing smaller roles. And especially I think female actresses, if they have a family, it's not that they've gone away. It's just that they are taking maternity leave or prioritizing their family, and that they could be acting in smaller roles. It's like, well, whatever happened to her? It's like she's still working. She's just not in big Hollywood blockbusters anymore. Because maybe that's not something she wants to do. So yeah, you can sometimes I think to myself, well, if they can still make a living through acting but without having to maybe the stress of filming huge films,
Yeah, and having to sacrifice privacy and all those kind of things that maybe come with like high-profile roles. And she might be very happy with, various roles she's done in more recent years that just don't happen to have been as well known as something like Something's Gotta Give or whatever.
Just one thing I should say is that there is an interesting moment. I don't know, is it in this minute or maybe it's the next minute, where they find out Father Joe is a Catholic?
They maybe do mention that here, yeah, because Exhibit maybe...
And Mulder looks at Scully, and Scully looks at him, but he gives her a really pointed look. And I just thought that was amusing. It was like, anything Catholic, and he immediately turns to Scully. Like, the world is filled with Catholic things. Catholicism is a big religion, but it's like anything Catholic in the X-Files, it's like, boom, the camera focuses on Scully, and Mulder looks to Scully. You must know about this.
That's funny. That's funny. I mean, we'll come, I think on the next minute, we'll come more on to, they talk a bit more about Father Joe in that one, don't they? And his credibility and his status as a priest and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, we'll come back to him, but yeah, that's a good point. Okay, Clara, so we'll wrap it up there. We'll be back for one more minute on this block of episodes, which is minute 15, and we'll be back tomorrow with that instalment. But until then, listeners, always remember, trust no one.